Welcome to aminacademy.com. In questions, how, why, and what. In that, we'll answer such a question. What is hunger? What are its effects? What are worst famine in history? Hunger happens when the people do not have enough food to eat. The main cause of hunger is not a collective shortage of food, but rather access to food, especially nutritious food. Addressing hunger is more than just giving people enough calories. Did you know? People who suffer chronic hunger don't have the option of eating when they are hungry. They do not get enough calories, essential nutrients, or both. Worrying about how to feed themselves and their children consumes much of their day. Some people are hungry because food is in short supply in their area. Others can't afford to buy enough food. It may be both. Some countries have a hunger season every year. When the previous harvest is gone and the next harvest is not yet ready, hunger season can last as long as 3 to 4 months. US does not have that kind of hunger season, but for many, especially low wage workers, retirees, people with disabilities, and their families, some weeks are hungrier than others. These usually come towards the end of the month, as families run short of food before they have money to buy more. Many families suffer hunger worldwide. People living with food insecurity are especially vulnerable to hunger and of lack a stable, reliable means of getting the meals they need. A month of bad weather for a farmer or an illness for a worker and loss of income can mean less food and the prospect of hunger. Our goal at Bread and Rice is to achieve complete food security, access to save the nutritious food at all time for a healthy life. Let us discuss further detail about hunger. The hunger is more complicated than empty bellies. It interconnected issues of poverty, inequality, conflict, climate change, gender discrimination, and weak government and health system all play a role in driving hunger. The biology of hunger is a complex process that involves the nervous system, endocrine system, and hormones. Ghrelin. The stomach secretes ghrelin, also known as the hunger hormone. When the stomach is empty, ghrelin signals that brain to increase food seeking the behaviors. Leptin. After eating, the body releases leptin, which signals the brain to stop eating. Leptin levels are higher after eating a high fat meal. Vagus nerve. When the stomach is empty, the vagus nerve is stimulated. When the stomach is full, then vagus nerve is less stimulated. Peristalsis. Peristalsis. The muscles in the intestine gently push food along, which is called peristalsis. Peristalsis also occurs when the stomach is empty, causes hunger contractions and stomach rumbling. Hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is a small part of the brain that controls hunger and appetite. Hunger is a feeling of discomfort or weakness that causes a desire to eat. Hunger and satiety are highly regulated processes that help maintain a stable weight. What is the definition of hunger? Hunger is defined by the United Nations as the period when the people experience severe food insecurity, meaning that they go for entire days without eating due to lack of money, access to food, or other resources. Here are some definitions of ketones. Hunger is the distress associated with lack of food. The threshold for food deprivation or undernourishment in favor than 1800 calories per day. Undernutrition goes beyond calories to signify deficiencies in energy, protein, and or essential vitamins and minerals. Malnutrition Malnutrition refers more broadly to both undernutrition and overnutrition. Food security relates to food availability, access, and utilization. When people have consistent and adequate access to enough safe and nutritious food to maintain an active and healthy life, they are considered food secure. What happens when people go hungry? Prolonged periods of food insecurity can lead to malnutrition, which occurs when the body lacks sufficient vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients needed to thrive. A multi layered issue, malnutrition manifests in many forms, including wasting or acute malnutrition. Wasting or acute malnutrition, when one is too thin for their height, this can happen suddenly, caused by a severe hunger crisis or something that occurs gradually but persistently. It can be treated, but a moderate and severe causes carry an increased risk of death. Stunting or chronic malnutrition. When child is too short for their age, this can occur when children do not have access to diverse nutrients, drinking dirty or contaminated water, or lack proper health care. Stunted growth in children can cause lifelong physical and cognitive damage. Micronutrient deficiencies, when the body lacks a type of vitamins or minerals, example iron, iodine, folate, vitamin A, and zinc deficiencies needed for healthy growth and development. Being overweight, when someone is too heavy for one's height, a poor diet can cause someone to be overweight, putting them to greater risk of diet related non-communicable diseases later in life. Many religions, including Islam, Christianity, and Hinduism, have teaching that address hunger and poverty. Islam, the Quran emphasizes the importance of charity, which is a fundamental part of the faith. The Prophet Muhammad is said to have said, "The person who sleeps full while his neighbor sleeps hungry is not a true believer." Christianity, the Bible links hunger with other terms for those who are marginalized, such as the poor, the needy, and the orphan. God promises to love and care for the poor and to deliver them from poverty. The Bible also includes the story of Jesus saying, "I am the bread." Hunger as a physical and spiritual experience. The Bible uses physical truths to help understand spiritual truths. Scriptures says that hunger exists in both the physical and spiritual realms. Hinduism teaches that no one should be hungry and that people should help those who are. The religion also emphasizes the importance of sharing food and the spiritual significance of doing so. Sharing food. The Bhagavad Gita says that sharing food is the highest form of karma. In times of scarcity, sharing food can mean the difference between life and death. What causes world hunger? It causes inequality. Power, power determines who eats and who goes hungry, who lives, who dies. Climate change also causes hunger. The climate crisis is driving hunger and malnutrition around the world. Conflict. 75% of the world's malnourished people live in conflict zones. Disaster emergencies. Humanitarian emergencies disrupt and destroy livelihoods for millions of people. Poverty, extreme poverty, lack of sufficient food, and hunger are inextricably linked. Some of the worst famines in history includes the Great Chinese Famine, the largest famine in human history with an estimated 43 million deaths. This man-made catastrophe occurred in China between 1959 and 1961 and was largely the result of Mao Zedong's actions. The Bengal famine in 1770, this famine resulted 10 million deaths. The Soviet famine in 1932 to 1933, this famine resulted in 10 million deaths. The Irish potato famine. The famine occurred between 1845 to 1853. The resulted in an estimate of 1 million deaths. The famine was caused by a crop diseases that destroyed much of Ireland's potato crop, which was the main food source at that time. The Great Famine of 1315 to 1317, this famine affected most of Europe and was marked by crop failures, cattle diseases, and extreme levels of crime, diseases, and mass death. The Global Hunger Index is a tool used to measure the track hunger globally by region and by country. Let us try to stop hunger. If you have done, please subscribe our YouTube channel.